Hi guys, thanks for tuning in to Nev's Garage. Now in the last episode of the Megasquirt project we mounted the ECU and that's looking really neat and tidy. Now on this episode we're going to start tidying all the wiring up and mounting it up under the parcel shelf as well. Alright, so don't change the station, let's get into it. Okay, so I've already got the mounting plate made this time. Like that. Alright, cool. She's up in there. Alright, so now what we need to do is start on the wiring. So here's what the existing wiring looks like. It's a bit of a rat's nest. When we're done today, this should look really schmick. Okay, so let's start unwinding all this and tidying it up. Alright, so here's the basic engine loom. And let's take it out on the bench and start stripping it down. Alright, so I know what you're thinking. How the hell did I let it get this messy? But remember, this whole Megasquirt system evolved from this little wiring adapter I made back in the beginning, where I was experimenting with outputs from the original ECU, and then it just got added on and added on and added on from there. So imagine how well this thing's going to run once we get all this tidied up. So now I'm going to strip this loom down, get rid of all the unnecessary wires, and then we'll start building our new loom. Okay guys, so here's what we've got left. Alright. Now, removed all the wires that we don't need off the wiring adapter and heat shrunk all them, all the pins. Okay, so they're insulated. So now one by one I'm going to be taking off the prototype wire and putting on our new Megasquirt wiring. Alright. So I've got the official DIY Auto Tune looms here in kit form. I've special ordered them unpinned so I can put only the wiring into the connectors that I want, so I don't have a lot of extra wiring that I'm not going to use. And FYI, I got them cheaper because of that. Okay, so we've got our MS3 wiring, our MS3X wiring. We've got a wiring adapter. So now it's time to get jiggy with the soldering iron. Alright guys, so that's how far we've stripped the loom down so far. Looking pretty neat and tidy now, hey? Okay, so you know what time it is now? It's time to push the terminals into the DB37 plugs. So in our DIY Auto Tune wiring packs, we have the outer shell and the grommets to suit. So I'm not going to worry about mounting the plug into the shell yet, but I am going to use the grommets. And I think I will use the middle size grommets. Should be enough room to get all the wiring through there that I need. Alright, so there's our two connectors. You can see the pins just push into the back and they're all numbered. Alright, so that's what I'm going to do now. Got all my wires labelled so I can just push them in. Alright, so there we go. There's our loom all trimmed down and made now nice and neatly. We've got the MS3 connector and MS3X connector on there. Now these wires that are still loose, they don't go through the car's loom because these are for the stepper IAC, the Y-band O2 and the intake air temp sensor. So these are all new looms that I put into the car. Alrighty, we've got the grommets on, all the heat shrunk is shrunk. Looks really tidy, hey? So I think now we should put it in the car and start to fit it up. Alright guys, there's the loom. I've tried it in the car. Looks good up in there. You'll notice I added connectors on here too. These are for the parts of the loom that are in the car that don't plug into the original loom. Parts that I've added on for such things as the idle air control valve, the intake air temperature sensor, the Y-band oxygen sensor, stuff like that. So you'll see how neat it is now. As Borat would say, it's very nice. Okay. Now, the DIY Auto Tune Loom kit comes with these metal DB37 cases. I'm going to opt not to use these just because they're heavy and I don't want all that weight jiggling on the wiring loom and on the computer. So I've opted for these cheap plastic shells. So I'm going to fit them on there now and then we'll stick it up in the car. Alright, so there we go. Got the shells on there now. So let's fit it up into the car now. Cool, it's all plugged in. Now we just need a few zip ties. Alright guys, there it is. Nice and neat. Got our relay block, our Megasquirt, the Loom, the adapter. It's all mounted now, nice and secure, nice and neat. Nothing's going to vibrate and rattle and break any of the connections. Cool. I reckon it's time to give it a jam. Alrighty, let's connect it up to the laptop and see how we go. Turn the ignition on and check everything looks okay on Tuner Studio now. Okay, so it's connected. We've got coolant temp, we've got intake air temp. Looks good. Alright, let's crank it over. Use my remote start button. If you want to see how I built this, the link is in the comments. Here we go. Now it hasn't been started for about 5 weeks, so it might be a little bit cranky, but we'll see what happens. Huh, how's that? Alright, so let's just check if everything's looking now. Lights on, indicating that the white band is working properly. Looks very, very good. Very good. So there you go, guys. How cool is that? All the wiring's nice and tidy now. It's never looked better. And how easy did that start after 5 weeks of just being sitting in the garage? Very happy with that. Super happy with how it looks. So I think next time on the Megasquirt project we might try and reposition the air intake sensor. So make sure you subscribe so that you get the notification for that when it drops. But for now, that's it. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for liking, sharing, and please keep subscribing. And we'll see you next time on Nev's Garage.